Hello there, welcome to Business Today. My name is Jerome Paul Sonko with Winnie Buyinza and Nakauchi on sign language. We started off with trade performance in the East African Community Bloc. The East African Business Council has highlighted the trade performances at regional integration. The board member with Corporate Affairs Manager, Roofings Group, Stuart Mwesigwa, while speaking to Smart 24 TV, says they have been conducting business summits in East Africa intending to add value.
The trade facilitation that is happening is actually putting on improvement in how countries are trading with each other. That's why you're finding that the East African community was only 5 partner states. Now we are 7 partner states, and the 8th is soon coming. So I see this moving into a positive trend. Yeah, especially if we can all involve ourselves into value addition, then we can have a better stock to export beyond Africa. But a common currency, I think it would be a good thing because it would drive trade. It would balance well with our forex rates, the way we rhyme with the dollar, with the pound, and on the world market. I think it would be stronger, and it would be a good thing for us to be having a common currency and trade in it. We have so many other things. For example, the airspace is not balanced. From Uganda to, say, Arusha, you can take 7 hours when the flying time is like only 1 hour, but you have to go to Nairobi, you have to wait for connection. Then it makes the journey very expensive, more expensive sometimes than flying to Dubai. But because we don't have these connectivities, the airspace is not harmonized. Telephone rates, when you are calling a number in Tanzania from Uganda, they charge you in Uganda, they charge the recipient in Tanzania. It's very costly. Same with Burundi. So we need to harmonize some of these things. Standards. Sometimes we are operating here like roofings, we conform to international standards. But you find that our certificate issued in Uganda, someone in Kenya has to re-verify it in order to make it get equated to Kenya Bureau of Standards. We shouldn't be having things like that if we want business to thrive.
And now when you look at Uganda's cooperatives, as cooperators under the umbrella of the Uganda Cooperatives Alliance, a body that brings together all the country's cooperative unions, have demanded the re-establishment of Cooperative Bank in the country. They claim that the commercial banks don't give them fair interest rates. They alerted the officials during the official launch of the coffee factory in Kapeka, Nakaseke district, courtesy of the Operation Wealth Creation. Patterson Mumbere has details.
The Cooperative Bank was formed in 1960s and was closed up in 1998 amidst a host of problems, including mismanagement, fraud, and poor credit policies, among others, by the first Governor Bank of Uganda, late Charles Chikonyogo. While in Nakaseke district at the launch of the coffee factory, Uganda Cooperative Alliance, an umbrella organization that brings together all countries' cooperative unions, demanded the revival of Uganda Cooperative Bank to cater to their financial needs at a friendly interest rate. The Uganda Cooperative Alliance Chief Executive Officer Ivan Asimwe says they will meet government officials for dialogue and meet a final recommendation.
The cooperators believe that for us to get affordable and appropriate financing in this country, let there be a cooperative bank. Because a cooperative bank will address the financial needs of the farmers. Unlike, yes, we have commercial banks that are providing financing, but the challenge is this financing affordable and appropriate? So the members believe that we need to have a cooperative bank.
According to a study conducted in 2013 by the Uhuru Institute Center for Basic Research and Action Aid, the cooperatives had been a vital sector in which the state heavily depended on for its foreign exchange and taxation needs by the end of the 1960s. By 1970, the cooperative movement had become the largest employer in Uganda. Geraldine Sali, the permanent secretary from the Ministry of Trade, says that it's time government put its revival at the forefront.
So the issue about the cooperative bank is a very critical issue. This has been done before here in Uganda, where we had a very lucrative business out of this cooperative bank, which was set up by the cooperatives themselves, and it was working for them with tailor-made products meant for the cooperators themselves. And we think that this niche exists simply because the cost of money from the existing financial sectors has become very high. It's in double digit, and yet for any agricultural sector to operate effectively, at least the single digit to about 6% could be more productive.
The Uganda's third National Development Plan, whose goals is to increase average household incomes and improve the quality of life of the citizens of Uganda, recognizes cooperatives as central in mobilizing and organizing farm-level production, value addition, marketing, savings and financial intermediation at the local level. Bedson Mumbere, Smart 24 TV, Business Today.
And now, the use of clean energy for cooking in Uganda is one of the aims that the Ministry of Energy seeks to promote in the country. The government is encouraging a shift from fossil fuels to more sustainable cooking technologies. And in this report, we look at promoting clean energy in the Pearl of Africa.
Firewood continues to dominate in cooking at 76.2%, charcoal at 5.3%, and crop residues at 4.5%, a total of biomass fuels at 97%. On the other hand, clean energies like ethanol, electricity, and LPG contribute to just 1% of cooking energy. The State Minister emphasized embracing clean energy at the launch of the Energy Week.
We should be thinking about clean energy, migrating from fossil fuels, but then I have conflicts of interest.
The government is giving out a total of 1 million LPG gas cylinders to mitigate deforestation. The private sector has also come up with affordable measures in form of solar power and electric appliances to contribute to this technological transfer. Ronald Kawesa, the business manager at Ikoka East Africa, spoke to us about an ongoing invention of a solar electric cooker, a first of its kind in Uganda, providing both cooking and lighting needs.
So the Ikoka is very simple to use. It's basically a solar home system. So it has a panel whereby you just place the panel on the roof, and then you just connect it to the green base and just start to do the cooking. So
this invention is reliable regardless of weather conditions, means that solar only works during hot seasons.
Cooking, it has a battery inside, so part of the energy from the panel is stored into the battery, so that during times when the weather is not good, when it's raining, or it's a cloudy weather, you're able to cook using energy now from the battery.
Unlike the other methods of cooking, this is very user-friendly. It's also a multi-purpose item, as Ronald explains.
Emission-free, so you don't have any smoke with the cooking. It's very, very convenient. It cooks very fast. For example, if you're cooking a kilogram of beans, it will basically cook the beans within an hour. The beans are ready. But also when it comes to cost saving, how much do you spend to cook a kilogram of beans using charcoal? Basically, you're using an amount between 3,000 to 5,000 to cook a kilogram of beans. But with the e-cooker, you are basically spending between 300 shillings to 400 shillings. So this is the e-cooker solar cook stove, and this is the complete set. So the complete set comes with a 275 watt panel, 2 cooking pots, a portable lamp, a magnetic torch, and a set of DC wired lights. So the way the cooker works is that the solar panel traps energy from the sun, and with this cable from the panel, we just plug it behind the base. Yes, so the base has an inbuilt battery that stores energy from the panel, so that you can use it in times of when the sun is not around or when it is cloudy. A portable lamp. So this lamp has different energy levels. The lamp can be either charged under the sun because it has a mini solar panel on it, or it can be charged using the same device, the cooker. Just as I illustrate this is charger. You just place it in. and you can see it is charging. So apart from that, it also comes with a portable torch. These are all rechargeables. These are DC appliances. But it also comes with a set of wired lights. So these lights, you can either decide to put one in the kitchen, one in the bedroom, one in the sitting room to enable the children do their reading, but also to enable you do the cooking. So each light has an independent switch, so it's for convenience.
The private sector applauds the ministry for organizing this partnership with the government to fight for a common goal of preserving the environment through fighting wood fuels.
We want to partner with government to fulfill the NDC. Remember that the government of Uganda committed itself to reducing emissions by 22% come 2030, and these are the innovations which have come on board to contribute to that milestone.
Margaret Nachiganda, Business Today, Smart 24 TV, driving business.
Livestock is one of the most important sources of income for more than 80% of the households in sub-Saharan Africa. In Uganda, for example, more than 50% of the households depend on livestock for their livelihoods. However, livestock farmers still face the challenge of enough pasture, especially during the dry season. Name Mutumba brings you more of the details.
Dairy production is one of the fastest growing enterprises in Uganda. It is part of the 12 agricultural commodities, which is considered by the Ministry of Agriculture to have the potential to remarkably contribute to increasing rural incomes and improving livelihoods, food and nutrition security. Researchers and the government have innovated the use of silage for farmers to feed animals during the dry season. This is to boost investment in Uganda's livestock. Silage and hay are preserved feeds that come in handy for dairy cows during periods of scarcity of green forage.
Reason as to why we have decided to use silage, it is because in the seasons of the dry season, it has been difficult to us in the sector of dairy production. You find a cow that has been giving around 10 to 15 liters. When it comes to the dry season, it is giving you only 2 or even 1. But we thought of this method and we said, why can't we plant our pastures, for example, maize or napier, such that when it comes to the dry season, we can harvest and give our animals. That is the silage.
For the start, animals don't like silage. For the start, because they are not used to. It's like for you when they introduce a new food on in your body, you don't like it well. So for the start, you give it very small and you continue adjusting. For like within 2 weeks, that animal will be okay with the silage and you can give it. For animal, it takes 3% of its body weight, the dry matter. So for example, if an animal has 400 live weight, so you multiply. So 400 times 3%, you get 12 kilograms. So an animal takes 12 kilograms of dry matter.
It's quite very easy to most of the farmers, but they are adapting it on a slow pace because we are used on, our farmers have been using free range system whereby animals are used to moving. But now we want our farmers to make paddocks such that in the seasons, when we come to the dry season, farmers can at least, the animals can't walk that long journey looking for the grass. We now have our silage, we harvest it, we put in the troughs as you've seen. When we are milking, our animals can be taken. When we feel like it is the pasture we are using now.
Food and Agriculture Organization statistics indicate that the dairy sector contributes up to 50% of animals, fetching $150 million in export earnings in 2021, making it the second agriculture export earner after coffee. Feeding animals on silage ensures high quality production and healthy dairy animals, especially during the dry seasons. Naomi Mutumba, Business Today, Smart 24.
Away from now, Mutumba's report, we talk health from the East African Community Bloc. A team of legislators from the East African Legislative Assembly conducted national consultations seeking views, ideas and inputs for the East African Community Sexual and Reproductive Health Bill. The bill seeks to harmonize all partner states in the region's right to the sexual and reproductive health of all persons in the region, as well as push for the related information and services as part of the universal health coverage. The bill was first introduced to the Regional Assembly in February 2017 by Odette Nyiramirimo, a Rwanda's representative. However, she left the office before the bill was passed. Today, meanwhile, several stakeholders share their views on the economic implications of this bill, if at all it is enacted into law.
I feel that this bill is not for the good of this country economically. I know that President Museveni has desisted from signing a certain bill related to this, sexual rights and health rights, something like that. And he's taken time to read it, ask stakeholders and everything about this bill. I know that this country, their donors, about 60%, could be having a hand in this bill because they want it to be passed and East Africa to be recognized as one of the countries that supports these sexual rights. But I'm pretty sure that once it is passed, we're going to be segregated as a region, both economically, socially, and of course politically. Because as far as this bill is concerned, Burundi has already trashed it. They said we do not even want to hear anything about it. And if Uganda, we are so tolerant with it and we're now calling about press conferences to discuss it, it's very unfortunate. So what I believe, it's time for us also to trash it. Let the consequences find us on the other side of the good of the law than finding us in the middle like we did on the Russian and Ukraine war.
If we allow such a bill, it will cause more problems. There will be increase in HIV, there will be increase in sexually transmitted diseases, there will be high increase in teenage pregnancies, school dropouts will also increase, and that has a very big impact on the economy. That means the government will be putting in a lot of money in the Ministry of Health to manage such issues, and you also have to put in a lot of money in different departments because we shall have few people who can manage to reach the threshold of paying taxes. So we shall have the tax base going down if we allow the bill. We shall have the budget of health and the rest also going up to manage the situation. So I think refusing it and rejecting it has a positive impact.
On the side of us as church, I don't see much implication in terms of the bill being passed because it is more on the moral aspect and also more on the social aspect. That is where we shall have more impact of this bill. Of course, anything you're asking positive or negative, those in the business, of course, who will be in the business of selling contraceptives, selling condoms and so forth, will make their money. But for me, I'm more interested in the social aspect and the moral aspect. Now, in the moral aspect, let us just imagine we allow our kids to go to school with pills, with the condoms. Will they be learning at school at all?
And now, still with the East African community, tomorrow Kenya decides. Kenyans will be going to the polls tomorrow after a month of grueling campaigns that have pitted former Prime Minister Raila Odinga, current Deputy President William Ruto, and newcomers David Wainga Mwaura and Professor George Wanjakoya. But with 90% of Uganda imports coming in from coming through the northern corridor, that is the Mombasa port, maintaining this growth and stability is becoming increasingly hard. So what is the fate of Uganda's economy? Rhoda Nahawe discusses this particular one ahead of tomorrow's elections.
Uganda's imports from Kenya were $773.23 million in 2020, according to United Nations Cooperative database on international trade. In 2021, the country's gross domestic product rebounded from 7.5% from negative 0.3% in 2020. CIATIN's Uganda's executive director, Ms. Naluga, says Ugandan businesses will be affected in case of any violence at the border.
Just across the border. The borders will be closed, of course. That means when you close the border, that means that the business across the border closed. That means that even tax collection is closed. But also behind in the hinterland, that means that even our produce can't go. Even the businesses, you can't send anything to Kenya or through Kenya. And it means that nothing can come in. Because you find most of our business, you look at the business district here, the business people, most of their goods come through traders from Mombasa to here, you know. So that means that even the businesses, most of the businesses, they will close. So it will really, really affect us. And for me, I pray that, you know, things go smoothly, Kenyans accept the outcomes of the elections.
Kenya Bango 2007-2008 political transition came as a surprise to many regional traders whose transit goods were destroyed. Along the transport corridor, Kenya had to pay a sum of 6.3 billion shillings as compensation to 16 Ugandan and Rwandan farms that lost goods in transit during 2007-2008 post-election chaos. Uganda Small-Scale Industries Association says that the violence should have prepared Uganda to think and prepare better for the unforeseen circumstances.
Kenya yabeera dda eye opener nti twalibadde tetukyakeeraliikirira.
The violence in 2007 should have been an eye-opener that we shouldn't be worried about such an election. Other means should have been devised by now. Either we look at using other routes or negotiating.
In Uganda, fuel prices have increased. The flow of trucks bringing consumer goods and manufacturing inputs from Kenya has reduced to a trickle, and exporters are wringing their hands as their stockpiles grow. Runana Habwe, Business Today, Smart 24 TV.
All right, now dealers in electronic appliances have expressed disgruntlement over traders dealing in fake electronic products as they drive away potential consumers. These traders possess a competitive advantage over their pricing policy as compared to those selling original products, since they are expensive. Bronia Katusime brings you counterfeit in the electronics business.
Counterfeit products are often produced to take advantage of the superior value of the imitated products. They have lower quality, sometimes do not work at all, and sometimes contain toxic substances. Smart 24 TV reached out to the dealers in electronics. They blamed the low business turnout to the higher emergency of traders dealing in counterfeit devices.
Counterfeit concern has really affected the turnover in relation to our annual analysis of the sales, due to the fact that most of the consumers are not so much aware of the counterfeit differences and the products that might be on the market. And still in relation to this, counterfeits are always trying their best to rub shoulders with original products. What do I mean? They easily tend to relate. So it's very hard for a consumer to clearly understand the difference unless there is more of awareness, explanation, brand differentiation, this and that.
Affecting us in a number of ways. First of all, they are putting much pressure on us as far as pricing is concerned, because generally if you find a counterfeit in the market, at times to look similar to the one we have. For example, the switches, you'll see looking the same as this one, but the function will be different. Now, if you find a consumer that is ignorant about the product, you may think for us who are selling genuine products, we are cheats, or we are selling them expensive, we are getting enough profits on the item, yet it's all about the quality of the product.
These carry an economic implication for the consumers in the long run, since their standards are unreliable.
Toll, I end up doing maybe wiring a factory and I've used substandard cables. You end up the factory may be hindered under fire. So it means that the consumer may end up paying double to meet the required standards of the factory to run. We've had cases where people come up when the machines are not operating due to low standard cables, low standard contactors, this and that. So by the time they come to us, it means they are paying times 2 or even more. So it is so good for consumers to always understand that better to buy something at once than not buying it more than once.
And see most people look for shortcuts, and actually this is the blame I can put on UNBS for accepting fourth class equipments entering the country, because where will they pass? URA is there, UNBS is there. So when you get those counterfeits, it is a danger to the community and at large everybody. So we should insist on genuine quality and a good price at least.
Appliances and electronics worth more than 300 billion Ugandan shillings are imported and sold in Uganda every year. However, a significant portion of that is substandard. Bronia Katsime, Business Today, Smart 24 TV.
All right, red time it is, but Business Today thus continues. Stick around. Good evening.